Hey, would you look at that? The new Jem and the Holograms trailer's dropped. I should watch it. Well, that's 2.5 minutes I'm not gonna get back. Hello and welcome to another episode of Cartoon Breakdown. I'm your host, the Animator. As I've stated before, I am a child of the 80s, and as such, I grew up watching those 80s cartoons that were based around toy lines like Transformers, Thundercats, the GoBots, and of course this episode, Jem and the Holograms. I remember we had all of the Jem and the Hologram dolls, which included Jem and her sisters Kimberly, Shauna, and Asha. In fact, I have a memory that's extremely clear of me holding Kimberly and looking at her hair thinking how weird it was, but I liked it. So I'm fairly confident when I say the reason why I have an obsession over redheads might be traced back to my time playing with the Jem and the Hologram dolls, as Kimberly was my favorite. I also remember we had a VHS that had the original 5-episode arc that started the television show off. And just like with the My Little Pony movie and Transformers the movie, as well as Voltron, we watched these episodes over and over again. So with that, let's get into the episode and see where it came from. Jem and the Holograms came about as Hasbro and Sunbow Productions and Marvel Productions teamed up to create the series. Hasbro wanted to promote their latest toy line based off of the dolls that featured 2 girl bands. Christy Marks was hired to create the concept of the series, and she created the idea behind the original Jem and the Hologram show. The show was about Jerrica Benton, whose father passed away and left her and her sisters part ownership of the company he created, Starlight Music. Her father's business partner, Eric Raymond, wanted full control of the company as he felt he was entitled to it, so he would scheme in order to take away Jerrica's half of the company. She was helped by another creation from her father named Synergy, a computer that had the ability to project holograms around her and her sisters, hence for the name Holograms in the title of the show. There were also other parts of the show, such as the Starlight House, which had a bunch of orphan girls that Jerrica would often take care of. The series was unique as it featured music videos in most of its episodes, giving the show a real feel that you were watching a band rather than a cartoon show that was targeting sales of little girl toys. There were at least 187 different music videos, with 151 of them being completely unique songs. The reason for the inclusion of music videos is because of the rise of MTV back when they had music videos on their channel. Each of the music videos was crafted with the idea of helping the story along and wasn't out of place as some music videos can be. I know that Jem and the Holograms wasn't the first to depict an entirely made-up band. You have Alvin and the Chipmunks and Josie and the Pussycats. But I do feel Jem and the Holograms was the first to treat their band as an actual group instead of just characters on a show or a comic. The voices for the show were the lead singer Jerrica/Jem, who was voiced by Samantha Newark, and Britta Phillips provided the singing voice for Jem. Kathy Ann Ballore, who provided the voice of the ever-troubled Kimberly and my favorite character, as well as Aja, and Shauna, voiced by Cindy McGee. On the other side, the Misfits originally had Pizzazz, voiced by Ellen Burnsfield, Stormer, who was voiced by Susan Blue, and Roxy, voiced by Samantha Paris. As the series progressed, the Misfits added another member, Jetta, who was voiced by Louise Dorsey. Jem and the Holograms was successful and was number 1 in the Nielsen ratings between November of 1986 and 1987, with 2.5 million viewers. Not wanting to be outdone, Mattel created a series of dolls based off of their Barbie toy line entitled Barbie and the Rockers. This resulted in both Jem and the Holograms and Barbie receiving less sales than they had originally intended. Hasbro discontinued the toy line for Jem and the Holograms in 1987 due to the lack of sales, but the show would continue to be produced well into 1988. The first season of the show started October 6, 1985 and ended March 15, 1987, with 26 episodes. Season 2 started October 21, 1987 and ended January 12, 1988, adding 27 more episodes. February 2, 1988 started Season 3 and ended May 12, 1988, with only 12 episodes, leaving the entire series with 65 episodes, allowing for it to become syndicated. The show would run on the USA Network in reruns in 1993, and then again it would run on the Hub Network on May 31, 2011, but was removed on May 27, 2012. But was brought back October 20th, 2013. The series also aired on the Discovery Family channel, which was the same channel as the Hub, just a different name, on October 13th, 2014 until November 15th, 2015. I really did like the show despite its girly appearance. As a boy, that didn't affect me as much as it would other boys, because I loved animation even back then. Now, if you want to watch the show, the series is available on the usual streaming sites, including Netflix, which I happen to have. I do have to warn you though, watching the series as an adult, I see the potential, but the misfits baffle me as I don't know how they were able to get away with what they did on a regular basis without getting arrested. But then again, it was how it was back in the 80s. Bands could do whatever they wanted, and all they'd have to do is just create an apology tour. When I found out they were making a live-action adaptation of the show, I was thrilled, and as I joked around in the beginning of the episode, I watched a preview for it and was less than thrilled. I didn't need the critics to tell me just how bad the movie was going to be. If you want more of a modern adaptation of Jem and the Holograms, I would suggest looking towards the IDW comic book series. You won't be able to hear any of the music, but the storyline is engaging enough and interesting enough to have you coming back for more. I really enjoy reading it, and I do think Kimberly and Stormer make a really cute couple. I would love to see them make a new version of the television show based off of this franchise, as Hasbro has had success in other toy lines being brought back for modern audiences, i.e. My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, and Transformers. I suppose this concludes my Toy Month, and I hope that some of these episodes may have given you some ideas of what to get for your children. If this was your first episode of Cartoon Breakdown, welcome! Please check out my channel and watch my other videos, as I have a lot of information to share about each of these cartoons I talk about, and maybe you can subscribe to get future videos as they come out. As always, I'm the Animator, and this was Cartoon Breakdown.
Come along, you belong. Feel the fizz of Cuckoo Cola.